Hi, book club members. I'm Jen.
And I'm Carrie.
And this is Warhammer 40k Book Club, where we read from a crag. This is our 7th Best of Awards, in which we are going to award the best books of 2025. It is time for us to acknowledge the best characters, the moments, and the books in general that we read for the book club. If you've been following our podcast, most of these will come as a little surprise and should be familiar. Due to the nature of our awards, it's almost impossible to be spoiler free for this episode. So we will endeavor to announce the name of the book at the beginning of our award and try to keep them about 1 to 2 minutes unless we're really excited about it. So if you haven't read a book that we're going to be talking about, go ahead and skip ahead a little to avoid spoilers. Be sure to check out any posts and accompanying podcasts for any books that intrigue you. With that, let's dive into the characters, the scenes, and the lines, and the concepts that wowed us in 2025. Our first category, my personal favorite.
We should note real quick that these are books that the book club read in 2025.
Yes, that is a really good call out. These are all of the books that we read in 2025. And if you've been following our podcast, you know that there were a ton of books that actually just got awarded best of by the Black Library, which are going to be on our docket for 2026.
Which is...
we had to dip back into the Wayback Machine.
It's not fair. They published 3 to 4 books a week right before the holidays. Like, dudes.
Right before the holidays.
Dudes, spread the wealth. Spread it out. Just a little bit.
For sure. So if you all of a sudden hear us talking about a book that published in 2019, that's why.
Yep.
Our first category is my favorite. It is the favorite bro/romance. This can be either a romantic coupling or a platonic friendship that really stood out to us. Classic examples of bromances are Uriel and Pausanias, and classic romances would be like Tona Crid and Dermot Catherine. Carrie, who is your favorite bro/romance of the year?
This one was actually hard this year. Because there was only like really one to me. Because I didn't think anything else of anybody else, to be honest. And it was the Nameless Watchmaster and Batu, the Adeline Rider.
Oh, no. He was not nameless. He was my Watchmaster.
Well, her Watchmaster,
yes.
I guess.
Yes. Batu and my Watchmaster, I will ship them wherever. I don't care. At this point, he could come out and be like, no, there was definitely nothing going on between them. And, sir, you are wrong.
Oh, no. The fact that he was even like, should I go explain something to her? Maybe I should. Well, she'll get it. Moving on. Like, just the fact that he was even thinking about it.
Much like,
says,
yes, exactly. And much like when giant soulless babies
here we go.
gave the knife. Yep. They're practically engaged. That's the most romantic shit we've seen in a 40k book.
Disagree. I think probably their most romantic was that couple in Knights of Macragge.
Oh, when they get to stay on the planet at the end together.
Yep, so she can take care of him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Or Rachel Harrison's Commissar book.
Yeah, I can't even talk about Honor Bound because we're never getting a sequel to that. And I was hardcore emotionally invested in that couple.
Yeah, me too.
So we don't talk about that. Continue about my Watchmaster and Batu.
That's kind of it. I don't know what else to say.
They were my honorable mention. And this is going to be such a spicy take when I get to my favorite. They were my honorable mention because it was just lovely. It was, to your point, like the fact that he even was like, oh, maybe I should go explain something to her. Nah, like it was so un-Krieg-like and then immediately very Krieg-like. And the Attilan, of course, is, he was a challenge.
You're right.
I think she fell in love with him a little bit, just like a little bit, and she's going to be thinking about him for years after when she watched him charge around on a horse with a sharpened shovel.
Well, I mean, as soon as she saw him get on a horse, he can ride. Okay.
Yeah. She's like,
now he's on the market. See.
What you don't understand is you guys are engaged now.
They're never going to get married. They'll probably never see each other ever again. Because the way that the regiments go.
Except for in my fan fiction.
Please don't write fan fiction.
I am kidding. I don't have time for it, quite frankly. Between reading the books and doing our podcast and doing all of the stuff that I do for youth hockey and working a full-time job, ain't nobody got time for that.
So you got more time to write your fan fiction? That's what I just heard.
I took off an entire week to just write fan fiction about Batu and my Watchmaster.
She put it all up on LiveJournal. Isn't that where
Exactly
fan fiction goes?
I thought it was what's the other one? Tumblr? I thought that was where that goes, is on Tumblr. I don't know. I just work here, you guys. Believe it or not, that was my runner-up, my favorite one, and it kind of killed me to say this, but it was true. I really did. Bree Jagdea has always been one of my goats of the 40k universe, and her and Dollface were just yeah, I shipped them. They were just good friends and good colleagues, but I definitely shipped them that whole entire book. And quite frankly, Bree Jagdea deserves to get laid after as much she's been through in both Double Eagle and this.
Yeah,
The girl's seen some stuff.
I just didn't care about either one of the books. So, like, in my notes, it's just
That's
like,
fair.
nah. Flipped over both of my notes for both books. So,
That's fair. That's fair. What was your honorable mention, Carrie?
so my honorable mention is only there because like I said, I was trapped to thinking about one. And according to the author, this was not actually a relationship. But after seeing our discussion at it, he was like, you know what? It is a relationship. And that is was it Inquisitor or Commissar? Commissar Fennec and Medicaid Daviland from The Final Deployment.
Yes. Though that one almost made mine as well. Mostly because we got the author to comment on it and think on it.
Exactly. The fact that he was like, I didn't think of it that way, but it is that way now. I'm like, that's right, it is. Because I'm insightful, damn it.
Look at us using our English degrees.
Look at me, Ma. It wasn't a waste.
It wasn't a waste of time. I did not like either of those characters enough to put them as my favorite romance. But I do like
Daviland.
But you're not wrong. You're absolutely correct. They definitely had a thing going. All right. Our next favorite is our favorite quote. These are the lines that just stuck in our brain as either particularly well written, sassy, or just generally memorable. And we're going to go to yours first because, oh man, this was a great line. You want to hit us, Carrie? What was your favorite?
We're going to do the favorite
quote
first or the honorable mention?
Let's start with our honorable mentions. All right. Yeah, let's go there.
So I'm actually getting one from the Eidolon book, which should shock everybody. Because I hate Eidolon and I didn't like the book. But however, there were some juicy tidbits in there. And one of them was when Eidolon said something pretty deep. And it was, we are all the products of fathers who cared too little until it was too late. Because that's what we've been saying since the beginning. The Horus Heresy was literally caused by daddy issues.
Of every level. The Primarchs to the Emperor, the Legions to their Primarch. That was a really, really good line. It was very insightful, very well written. And yeah, it's also a little surprising in the context of that book, right?
Right. But honestly, with everything Eidolon's been through, it makes sense that he would have this kind of epiphany because his father didn't care about him.
Nope.
His father didn't care about him. And, so, I mean, the more we keep reading with stuff, I'm pretty sure the Emperor did not love his sons. They were, especially all the stuff that Guy Haley writes about Belisarius Call. And Call's like,
yes.
Sorry, it was not Call. I'm thinking of Horus Heresy stuff with, oh my God, what's his name?
The Valdor book?
No. His right-hand man, the one he made sit in the throne. Malcador. There was a scene with Malcador, and it had to have been the Angron book, because it was a scene where the Emperor had Angron like on a surgical table because he was trying to remove the nails, and he was just like, "We can't do it
The
without."
Emperor of Mankind.
Yes, was that what it was? I think you're right. And Malcador is like, "Huh? He's not calling them it's like he should." I was like, "Well, that's interesting." So he never once saw them. He saw them as, like you said, tools, weapons, things to be used. And he wasn't concerned about the nails. The guy knew the nails were going to kill him, but he's like, dang it, this is my toy. Only I get to kill my toys.
I always thought of, I really liked, I liked in the Valdor book when after What's-Her-Face tries to blow up the lab and Stardy
Oh,
tries to blow up the lab, and then Malcador and Valdor are talking, and Malcador's like, did you know that he's starting to refer to them as sons? And Valdor's
yeah.
like, ugh. And then the other thing that always sticks out to me is in Guy Haley, I think it's in either Dark Imperium or Dark Imperium 2 Electric Boogaloo, when he goes and he talks about visiting the Emperor and how it was like, the Emperor felt his presence and was like, oh, there's my favorite hammer. I like that one. But we don't really drill into it. Like we do a lot with Angron. Angron, we see a lot with him. Conrad Kurz's boys, right? Like I always think about, I think it's in the third, ADB Night Lords book, where he's right before he dies, when he tells Talos, when he's like, do you think I care about what happens to any of you after I'm gone?
Right.
Dude, those two are just the most honest about it. The only guy who really gets to say he cared about his sons really was probably Mortarion.
Mortarion definitely cared.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about of the traitors?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like even we go to Perturabo, we look at Guy Haley's book about him in the Primarch novels, when he was talking about how his adopted father probably really did love him and really wanted to understand him, but Peter Turbo was such a little brat. He was just like, you're not letting me do what I want to do. He's like, I do. Like, can you show me what you're working on? But you won't like it anyway. It's like, these dudes, like, nobody said that. And that's just
very petulant.
Yes. And like, even so, we're totally getting off topic, but like, I love the scene at the end when he confronts his sister and she reads him the riot act. She's like, if you didn't want to make things to destroy, you could have said something.
You could have built any other object, but you built a sword.
Yep.
You could have built a plow. You could have built a scythe. You built a sword.
My other dad only likes me to build weapons. Well, dude, you could have built other things too. No one said that you had to do this. You just decided to pout when he told Rogel to build a wall. You could have built a wall too. Anyway.
I think especially in the 40k universe, it's the thing that I think I liked that Eidolon gave voice to the thought that we've already seen, right? That it, like I call the Night Lords the Lost Boys, right? Because of their dad. But all of them are kind of lost. They don't have their brothers really, because the traitor legions, there's no friends amongst them. They don't have their fathers really. They're either dead or off doing something, right? And he's busy right now. Magnus and Mortarion are the only ones that they can really say. Like Angron shows up every few hundred years, right, to beat the shit out of something.
Well,
yeah, but yeah, no, he's not like, all right, come on, sons, let's go fight the cohesive. Like, let's go do something. Nope. He's just kind of there as a little rage monster.
That's
My
true.
big stupid rage monster.
Mortarion and Magnus did care. They're crap. Are they it?
Well,
I think Fulgrim.
And I don't even know with Magnus anymore. Like, I think Magnus has even gotten to, in Fulgrim certainly, right?
Fulgrim
kind of gotten to this sort of callous. Yeah. And Eidolon.
Like
Eidolon knows it.
So I almost did another quote for the honorable mention that was from the Fulgrim book. And it was when the main character, he was getting betrayed. And he was like, did you learn nothing from our father? Betrayal is the only thing we're good at.
Mm-hmm. That's a
So
good one too.
yeah. So that's anyway. Long story short, too late. That's
Too late.
yeah, that's my honorable mention. So what's your honorable mention?
Mine is actually from a book that I don't think either of us much cared for. In fact, when I went back and I looked through my notes, my note was that the Black Templars are better bridesmaids than brides.
Hmm.
There's a lot of characters that I really think of that way, but it was Broken Crusade. And there was a quote, and thank you, Carrie, because I wrote down the wrong page number for what this quote was, and we had to go back and we had to find it. But it's a
Fortunately,
moment.
I also wrote down this quote in my notes.
Well, it's a wonderful
Yep.
quote, and there's a human missionary who
Who's
is talking
blind?
with one. Right, and she's talking with one of the brothers, of course, Brother Chaplain, who thinks he's, oh, I've lost my faith and blah 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 because he was just like flashing his wrist the entire time. And she says, "What is faith, my lord? You must have had it once in order to misplace it, and you cannot lose something that does not exist. What is faith but bold action when others dare not? What is faith but sacrifice when others have nothing left to give? This is all the God Emperor demands, my lord, and such a thing cannot be lost." Beautiful quote. Beautiful quote
Mm-hmm.
on it's a great quote because it's great. It's a good quote on just faith in general, but also
Exactly.
what it means to have faith in the 40K universe, right? This idea of showing with your deeds your faith as opposed to just, reciting the litanies and doing all the things that everybody says you're supposed to. And it goes to that much deeper. And also, we saw this a little bit in Relentless Dead, and we talked about this in Relentless Dead with the idea with some of the Adeptus Sororitas and the Black Templars, they get so wrapped up in the
Mm-hmm.
letter of faith and not the spirit of faith. So I really liked it, and it really hit home for me.
Which I mean, like if you want to go back even to like the Bible, right? The Pharisees who are about the letter of the law versus Jesus and his disciples who are about the spirit of faith. So yeah, that's it. That's why I wrote it down too, because that's what it made me think of. I loved it.
Yeah, and I really was thinking about this quote, especially like again when we were talking about Relentless Dead, right? With this just concept, and we see this so often in 40K, where these people are just like, "Oh my God, we're so devout, and look at the things we're doing," and but are you really? And it goes to one of my core complaints with the sisters a lot, and the Black Templars too, of you guys could be doing so much more, and
Well, the
yet,
whole ecclesiarchy, I always think of Canterbury Tales with the
word.
ecclesiarchy. Like, think about the prioress and the priest and all the
Hmm.
jewelry and how fat they are. What are you doing with your faith?
Well, and I think those guys. Oh God, there's a whole rant in there. I think those guys 100% know what they're doing. These guys, yeah, they're just when he's sitting there like, "Oh, I've lost my faith," and she's like, "Bro, no, you haven't. Just go out there and be an Astartes sake." That's exactly what she said. That was the exact quote. I just
Yes,
made it a little bit more florid.
that's right.
All right, Carrie, what was your favorite quote of the year?
Oh man, this was actually really hard. I wrote down so many great quotes, but this one stuck with me. And it's when it's in final deployment when Fennec is confronting General Hurt, the guy who'd started the betrayal on Rillis. And he was like, he like thinks he hasn't pinned. He was just like, nobody's gonna know who you are. I'm gonna make sure that the books are like expunged with you, which actually reminded me a lot of like what Khrushchev said in the Death of Stalin.
Death of Stalin.
Yep. But General Hurt, right before he kills Fennec, says, everyone knows who Abaddon is.
It's a great line. I actually went back and listened to the podcast because I was trying to remember what we had said about that quote in particular. And yeah, I forgot that what tickled me about that quote in particular was that um, Bro thinks a lot of himself to compare himself to Abaddon, doesn't he? Like everyone knows who Abaddon is, and we're practically besties. Like same, really.
No, I didn't think of it that way. It was just like people know who the villains are too. Like,
Oh, 100%. And if you do enough damage,
mm-hmm.
people are gonna know. Like
I mean,
it's impossible.
it's going to be one of those things like in this planet, it'll be written down how this guy, like, Want to hear the tale about how General Hurt, fell and nearly destroyed us. Yes.
Oh, yeah. And
he will be remembered, but not in the way that he would want to be. Not the savior of the planet.
right. And how many books have we read, right? Where our heroes show up on a planet and they're like, yeah, after so and so did the bad thing, right? They have a rebellion named after them. They have a heresy or whatever they want to call it on that particular planet, right? There's always somebody. And so he's not wrong. He probably has probably punched his notoriety ticket.
He gets 3 more. He gets a free 6-inch sub.
100%. Yes. If you get 3 more, maybe your name will be known on another planet. Think about that. You might even get to be known system-wide. It's like having followers and like enough likes and stuff like that. You got to build your fan base.
All he needed was a better PR.
Exactly. He just needs to get a better agent.
Or a better social media manager.
I do not think the Imperium would be down with social media at all.
Well, no, they can't control that, right? I mean,
right,
that can
exactly
be part of the
that.
propaganda machine.
Did you imagine social media running through the noosphere? Anyways, like the tech priests would be so confused. They'd just be like, what?
Tech priests are confused. I get confused sometimes.
You know what? Fair enough. My favorite quote was actually one that I wrote down. Like I even put it, I remember I started this sheet. I went back and looked. I started this sheet after we read the book Leontis so that I could put this quote in here, and nothing surpassed it this year for me. It was, of course, the ice cold line at the end. I was your greatest adversary, but to the Imperium, you were just another orc.
I liked Leontis so much.
I really liked Leontis.
And that was
a
a book we were like, we don't really want to read it. And then we both just loved it.
We did both love that one. And yeah, that was a great one because the whole time this orc is just chasing him and like, oh my God, I'm so big and amazing and awesome. And no, much like how everyone knows Abaddon, but doesn't know the other traitor Primarchs, right?
Yeah,
we know Ghazghkull Thraka.
Yeah, you're not. I was about to say you're not Ghazghkull Thraka.
You're not Ghazghkull Thraka. Sorry, you're just another orc, another upstart orc, who just happened to get the attentions of Leontis.
Landed on the wrong planet, buddy.
It's cold. It's a little bitchy. It's my flavor of just send off.
Well, it's kind of like a lot of Leontis's things. Cold, bitchy.
Very much so, but like with a great understanding of how people and apparently orcs work. Because he knew that was the cruelest thing he could say.
So, hey,
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Here I am trying to, learn one other language, and these guys all know, like, I don't know how many languages.
Right, and all the dialects and stuff. Oh my gosh. Yes. All right, let's talk about our funniest moment. This is our third category. The 40K universe is full of laughs and humors, but these were some of the scenes that provided either a much needed laugh or were just so perfectly timed and enjoyable. They deserve a mention. Let's start with your honorable mention, Carrie. What was your second funniest moment of the year?
So this almost made my first one if I hadn't written down my first one first. But this one was in the Remnant Blade. And I've mentioned this in the podcast. This is a scene that it tickled me like so much. I was laughing when I was reading it. And it's when Dalcion, when the Gore Lord has sent them to go attack the ship, but they're going to go hijack another ship. Mm-hmm. And they're waiting till they can get everybody like separated out before they can do the teleportation. But when it's time, he's like, Aang Heltris, it's time. And he just pops his head out of a mountain of corpses, just like a prairie dog. It's like about time I was getting bored. I'm like, only a Night Lord to just be underneath a pile of corpses and just pop his little head out. Like,
oh my God. That one almost did make my funniest moments as well because it's so on brand. It's so on brand. And that book in general, I was really nervous about that book, but nope, he did well with the Night Lords.
Love that book. Still mad I don't have a physical copy of it, but regardless. I'm not paying eBay's prices on that one. Even I have my limits.
Yeah, no, just for a hardback, and I'm sure at some point they will inevitably re-release it as a special edition.
Probably.
In case somebody's listening. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Both of us would purchase it. It's all about us, really.
It really is. I mean, I don't know why this is such a shock.
We both had the same funniest moment. So my honorable mention was actually from Mad Doc, Grotznick. And it's in the end when it's revealed, because there's this whole big thing with Grotznick making these big monstrosities that he's going to send after Ghazghkull Thraka. And then he reveals that he's making them to amuse Thraka. And I can't remember what the exact line is, but he's talking with Valtron. And he's just like, aw, see how happy he is? Because he just got to crump and nearly got killed by this monstrosity that I created. It was the whole scene is just humorous the way it plays out. And it's so on brand for the orcs. They just, yeah, I'm bored. Go make me something that might kill me so that I can fight it.
You know, there was a scene in there that almost made mine as well. And it's when they're on the boat and a sea monster grabs the Mad Doc and he goes, Voltron, is there a tentacle on me leg? like
it was good. Again,
honestly,
when you have the orcs.
What made a lot of that book for me is, I think maybe eventually we're going to have to actually add another category on here since we've been listening to audiobooks for narrator nominations.
Oh, yes.
Because the narrator for the Mad Doc was phenomenal. Like I even said with we were reading the Red Gobbo's Last Stand, I was hearing that guy's voice for the orcs and for the grots, and that's how it's just going to be because he was so perfect.
Well, and he almost did like an audio drama style because I loved his little interjections, right, of the orcs thinking or considering things, and especially with the Mad Doc, he constantly was doing this, just these little interjections that made it so much more colorful and so much more enjoyable to listen to. Oh, he did a great job, and
gave him characterizations with their speech that were not in the book, so it was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he is. When I'm reading to myself, he is reading the actual physical book. That is. His voice is what I hear for the orcs now. He did a great job. All right, Carrie, do you want to walk us through the moment that made us both laugh and tickled us this year?
It would be in Leontis, Lord Solar, when he went and spoke Orcish. And everyone hanging out, they're like, is he talking to them? What is he doing? And then the orc talks back to him, and Leontis just takes out his gigantic gun and shoots his head off. And they're like, well, I guess I don't think he liked what it said back. And it's so random. It's like, he didn't tell him to screw off. No, he just shot him.
Shot him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Had no use for him anymore.
Yep.
And I think they were right. I don't think he liked what it had to say.
It's just so matter of fact. I don't think he liked what it said. You think?
And just, oh my God. Yes, exactly that. It was just very humorous. And again, it's anytime you're dealing with the orcs, it's kind of easy to be funny, but that in particular, because that was actually from the human side of it. And it was a very orcish reaction from the humans.
It really was. Well, but he knew that, right? He knew that's how orcs understand force.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, I was like, man, did he read Yarick's journal? It's like, how do I deal with an orc? Aha! Because that's totally what Yarick would have done.
Oh, absolutely. But I guess he didn't like what he had to say. Like, that was a very orcish reaction to it. Just okay. You killed it. Absolutely love it. All right, this is my second favorite category that we talk about, which is the biggest, oh my God, scene. These were scenes that had us figuratively or literally with our jaws agape, just unable to comprehend what we had just read or just like, oh, so good. love this category. Carrie, what was your honorable mention? And I love this honorable mention.
Again, sorry, I was looking at the wrong category. All right.
I was like, again, we haven't talked about this one yet, actually.
No. So mine's it's different. So it's from Blades of Damocles, which is one of the older books that we read, and it by Phil Kelly, one of the Space Marine battle books. And it's the scene when the Tau comes across a dreadnought and realizes that the dreadnought itself is older than his entire species. And he has a mental breakdown over it. I thought that was cool to begin with, but the reason why this is kind of stuck in my head was because my eldest son, he every now and then will get Warhammer content on Instagram. And he came to me. He's like, Mom, have you ever read this? You ever seen this? And it was this scene the guy apparently was talking about on Instagram. And I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a scene in a book that we just read. So that's why it's always kind of stayed with me. And unfortunately, my oldest son, he never remembers what he tells me. So he's brought it up a few times. I'm like, yes, it's from this book we read.
It's a great, and shameless self-plug, I did just write an article on my thoughts on the Tau. But that is one of the things that I actually find very interesting about the Tau is how young of a race they are. Mm-hmm. And I do remember that scene, and I did like that scene where he's just like, oh my, wow. Although it makes you wonder how they must react with the Necrons. Or the Eldari.
Right.
Or the Drukhari, for that matter. Those things are older than... But even even the humans, when they encounter, the Eldari or the Drukhari, they're oh, they have no concept of how old... this thing was old when we were still, right now. Mm-hmm. Right? It's what makes the Warhammer 40k universe so wonderful. But the fact that he's just when he comes across it, it's excellent. That was actually a fun book in general, Blades of Damocles.
It was. Well, it was the Space Marine battle books, and those are they're just fun.
Yeah, they really are. Mine actually surprised me, but it was one of those ones that I just remember reading not necessarily, oh my God, but just, oh my God. And it was from the Fulgrim, The Perfect Son book. And it's when Tamaris realizes how fickle Fulgrim really is, and that his adoration means less than nothing. He spends the whole book trying to prove that he is the perfect son. He's the best one. He's the best Emperor's children, unlike that other guy who was previously the favorite son. That guy sucks. And then he finally gets what he wants, and he just has this cold, awful realization that Fulgrim doesn't care, going back to our earlier statement from Eidolon, right? That he doesn't care. This is meaningless. I'm just his new favorite plaything. He'll find another favorite plaything, in another couple of years, and then I'll be the guy that I just killed or fought.
What do you expect from, the demon prince of sex, drugs, and rock and roll? They're not gonna. Right. They're the epitome of I'm bored. Find me something else fun to do.
Mm-hmm. He's like a spoiled child. And I think it was one of the Fabulous Bill books. I think it was the third Fabulous Bill book, maybe, where they reveal that he's just constantly reliving and reenacting the Battle of Chemos. Mm-hmm. Man, he's a child. He's an absolute child. He's Uncle Rico. He never grew up. Throw this football over that goddamn mountain. He just, yeah. And oh man, then the Eidolon quote in particular becomes so awful because, yeah, he just staged this entire fight for my attention for the lulz, and it means nothing. Mm-hmm. Oh God, I didn't love that book in general, but that scene in particular was oh God.
Yeah.
I don't like the Emperor's children, but I don't want them to realize that Daddy doesn't care about them. Man, I don't want to read that. That's sad. I'm supposed to just hate you guys.
Well, the one who did was Clone Grim, and he's gone. So, so that's, so again, it's pre-heresy Fulgrim.
He's not gone. He's just locked in a Pokeball in Trazyn's
Oh,
Infinite
oh,
Labyrinth.
whatever. He's still been retconned out of here, so we all know it.
Oh, we don't know that. Clone Grim might still live in a Pokeball.
I doubt it. I'd be delighted, but I'm just going to assume no. He's been retconned out after they got rid of Josh Reynolds.
Along with Saint Dreadnought. Anyways, moving on. Let us not dwell.
Oh, that one hurts too,
But we
man.
mustn't dwell. Not on Rex Manning Day. What was your biggest, oh my God, scene of the year, Carrie?
It was the end of Remnant Blade when Dalshion proves he's not as dumb as everyone thinks he is. And honestly, like with that, when he actually gets their tech, not a tech priest, what was he? Warpsmith to side with him.
Yep.
I was like, oh, you guys thought I was so dumb and I trusted you this whole time.
Yep.
Yep.
It reminded me very much, and I think I said this in the podcast too. It reminded me a lot of the Lords of Silence.
I
the
was
end
just
of Lords
thinking
of
that
Silence.
too. Yeah. Lords of Silence.
Yep. When he when what's his face, the traitor,
Yep.
the traitor guy, when he puts it all together, when he's like, oh God, that guy was working for you, and he's like, yeah, I pieced together this whole thing actually. So great. So great. I love a good, yeah, no, I've played you all ending. It's great.
But it wasn't in an Ariman way. That was the best part about it.
No, 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 it was clever and it was fitting of a Night Lord.
Yes.
And he got all of his wildest dreams to come true.
He's free. He is free of the Gore Lord.
Which, yeah, that's a promotion.
Right.
For sure. Mine, big shock, comes from Firecast. I don't feel bad about spoiling that one since that book is so old now at this point. But it's Vindrake's final roaring rampage of revenge at the end there. He overdrives his sentinel. It just, the whole scene was cinematic. Like really the whole ending of that book just builds and builds and builds and builds. And it I think I even said this during the podcast, but it reminded me spiritually of oh shoot, what was that Alpha Legion book that we liked so much and we keep waiting for a sequel for?
This is the one that Andy Clark wrote.
Yes, that's the one. And it's at the end
Shroud
when
of
there's
Night.
like Shroud of Night. Yes, at the end when you've got Karn the Betrayer in there, you have Saint Celestine, you have just everything's going crazy. But it was so cinematic, and that oh man, Firecast. Like I loved that book in general, but that his final. If you're gonna go out like a boss, if you're gonna go out like a boss, and do a lot of damage in the process. The Tau underestimated.
Yep. That
Big
was
shock.
a good scene. I loved that
I
book
like
too.
that one. Oh, so good. So slightly different flavor, is our favorite scene of 2025. So this is a scene that was just so important to the book or maybe the universe, or it was just cinematic and it stuck with us all year. And these are the scenes that we're going to be referencing, much like what I just did right there with Shroud of Night or Saint Dreadnought. These are the scenes that we'll be referencing in later book club of the year awards podcasts. Carrie, your honorable mention is interesting.
It is when Leontis, Lord Solar, once again, when he argues with Belgatai. And it's when the horse rider, he's a Attilan horse rider, and he confronts him over that he sacrificed Roust, the Krieg. And he was like, so you're just going to be using us until you get your victory? He's like, yeah. Like, his response is like, that is how this works. He's like, and I will sacrifice everything I can for even half of us to live, and that is a victory to me. And it's just because he's so cold and calculating, which it does seem extremely cold, but at the same time, this is why he is Lord Solar.
Yes, because he doesn't think in the micro.
Right.
He's thinking in the macro. And that scene right there really made him seem like the human version of Reboot Gulliman.
Yes. It also just kind of reminded me of this movie that lives in my head rent free. I've only seen it once, but I just can't. I can't again. It's U571.
I had a feeling that's where you were going with this.
Yep. And if you know the scene I'm talking about in U571, where he tells the engineer, you have to get down there and fix the leak or we're all going to die. He tells him that knowing full well this guy is going to drown. And he does, but he fixes the leak and saves them all because it was for everybody. It was a victory for all. And that's how Leontis saw what he was when he doles out his orders. It's that, yes, I'm sacrificing these people so that we can do victory here. You know, I mean, even, what was it? It was what FDR when he said about, you know, dropping the atomic bomb. It, you know, it's going to kill, you know, thousands, tens of thousands of people, but it's going to save millions of lives and take years off the war. It's that cold calculating thing that a leader, a military leader has to do.
Right. Exactly. Truman, right?
Was it Truman?
And
I thought it was FDR. No, FDR didn't see the end. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. You said that, and I was like, wait a minute. But yes, no, exactly.
FDR
that.
was just
exactly
president
that.
for so long.
I know, right?
I totally
Jesus.
forgot he didn't see the end of those fourth term. Anyway.
But it always, like, we've talked about this, like, there's like the emperor, right? That's one of the comments, right? About, I think that Reboot makes actually, is the idea that he does not love, the emperor loves humanity. He does not love people. And so,
Which
like,
is what
he's
the
thinking
horse-
about, like, a,
Yes. The Horse Heresy
Right.
book, Master of Mankind, I thought displayed that perfectly, which is like one of my comments when I write up that book was that he is the master of mankind, not mankindness.
Exactly. And like, so you have him who's thinking way up here, right? And then you have Bob who's thinking a little bit below him, but still similar. And then you have like Leontis, and then you have people like Belgatai who are below that and they have the luxury of thinking about their individual men, right? Because they know all of these people and they think about in those terms. But no. Leontis is thinking in terms of the long game, and like he's playing 4D chess at that moment. That's also a great scene because he reveals to Belgatai that he absolutely knows who these people are
Yes.
that are going to their death. He absolutely knows who these people
Where
are.
he's
So like,
do you even know where Rouse got his first like Medal of Valor? Do you know where he got this? And was just listing all these things like, oh my God.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
when he reveals that, oh, by the way, I know him better than you knew him. Oh, great scene. Great scene. I did like that one.
What about you?
Okay, so mine, well, spoiler, and tell everybody that my favorite scenes came from the same book. It was for The Relentless Dead. The runner-up is, of course, when Graven kills the Tallyman. When he comes up behind him, and the description is wonderful because he's utterly unbothered. He knows he's where he needs to be. He knows he's going to get to the Tallyman at the time that he needs to, and he's going to hit where he needs to hit. Because he's got the Holy Spirit in him. It's just this great, wonderful scene. This whole book has been so frantic with like there's zombies everywhere. We don't know who's on whose side. And he just gets up and just walks, just strides up to a Chaos Marine because...
Man, you know what scene I should have put in one of my funniest moments? Was when one of the sisters like grabbed Tallyman's abacus and just kind of like moved everything.
That almost made it in there, but I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a bore.
He's like, oh my God, I have to start over.
I almost put that in there, but I'm going to be talking a little spoiler alert. I'm going to be talking a lot about The Relentless Dead tonight. That scene though was just so wonderful. And going back earlier to the thing about faith and how much I was thinking about that, especially compared to the sister. 10 out of 10. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
There's so much about that book that I wanted to like write about. And I just was like, oh, but if I do that, I'm going to forget all these other books that were so great.
I know. We'll talk about this more when we get to when we get a little deeper with that book. But what was your favorite scene of the year, Carrie?
When it all came together at the end of 15 hours.
That book is a stone cold 40K classic for a reason.
Which I honestly did not see coming.
Tell me about it. Tell me about the scene
so
where it
the
all comes
beginning of the
together.
book starts with a random infantryman who gets shot, and it has like his dying moments. You don't think anything of it because this book is 15 hours. Like, oh, he lived up his 15 hours. And the book follows a brand new infantryman fresh off basic training. It's like, hey, you live 15 hours, you might get reassigned. Huh? And then you get to the end of the book and you find out the guy who died in the beginning is that guy.
It is.
And he
It's
dies
poignant.
right before his 15 hours are up.
It's poignant. It drives home the point of the book. It also is just so 40K.
Yeah.
It's so 40K. There are no happy endings here.
No.
Even
I knew
the
it wasn't going to
happy endings
I knew
are
it wasn't going to have a happy ending, but I didn't expect it to go like that. And
not dark.
and if you've heard me like talk about this before, like with the Horse Heresy books, especially with oh my god, it's not Prospero Burns. Yes, it is Prospero Burns. Because Dan Abnett does the same thing where it's like something gets mentioned in the beginning and then it all fits together in the end. I kind of call it like the To Kill a Mockingbird effect, because that's how To Kill a Mockingbird was. It starts with this thing. You're like, what does this have to do with anything? And it ends like, oh, now I see how this all comes together. So I love that Dan Abnett did that in Prospero Burns. And then this was perfect the way he did it in 15 hours. The only thing I think we saw something a little bit similar was with War of Secrets with Phil Kelly. Battle Stations.
Oh, Battle Stations. Yep. That was, oh man, that was a little bit different though, because that was one that the whole time, like we were reading the book, we were like, well, that's jarring. This is like it felt like it was bad writing.
It was not.
It was not. It just felt like a weird, oh, okay, I guess you didn't know what to do here, did you? Yeah, no, it all comes together in 15 hours. It just, man, it drives home that point, and you're just like, oh, that book still, because I had read that book early, and I remember rereading it for this podcast, just like, man, this was a good book.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm so glad that we went that far back in the Wayback Machine to get that one.
Yeah, again, it's a stone cold 40K classic. It really is. Like when you think about like the upper echelon of the classic books, it's definitely in the top 5.
I would actually recommend this is like a great book to read just to learn about the Astra Militarum or the Imperial Guard.
And how brutal it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that statement 100%. Mine's not going to surprise anyone. If you listen to this podcast, you absolutely know what the favorite scene was. I've already slightly referenced it.
She even made an AI image about it.
I did. It's I was going to make it my wallpaper on my phone, but my daughter was like, you can't put an AI image as your wallpaper. That's lame.
What do you care?
You know what?
She's a teenager.
That's
what
true.
Do you care?
That's true. It's true. What does she know? But it is, of course, from The Relentless Dead. And it is where Watchmaster No Name picks up a sharpened shovel, mounts a horse, and proceeds to kill every zombie in his vicinity.
He becomes the true shovel
noises.
He becomes the true Shovel Knight.
Yes. To say. It was like, is it definitely leaning into the Krieg meme skid? 100%. And yeah. I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it. I'm sorry. He's on horseback. Oh, and let's not forget that this is a stolen Attilan horse, which somehow makes it better. You got a sharpened shovel, a stolen horse, and a will to kill zombies.
Yep.
Again, like a deaf mute. You can't beat that. That's right. Miss Congeniality references in a 40K podcast. This is why you people listen to us.
That's right. That's right.
And me throwing my headphone cord everywhere is so good. It just, yeah, that one's going to be like, I'm going to be referencing that as much as I reference Saint Dreadnought. I'll just tell you that right now. Spoiler alerts.
You haven't mentioned Saint Dreadnought in a while, so I guess like a moderate amount.
Yeah, well, because you actually just talked about it and how I think I think he's been retconned. Just like Clone I think he got
Yep.
retconned. I also haven't mentioned giant soulless babies in a long time either because it's been a spell since we've had a book with them and
Oh yeah,
I
when are we
need more
getting
of
that
them.
third book?
God, I don't know. Chris Wright was busy writing a
Horse Heresy
book in
thing.
the no, well, yes, that too, but the other what's the book series? The Dawn of Fire. He went from Dawn of Fire to more Horus Heresy. That's actually post Siege. Um, I forgot how to breathe. Um,
Hmm.
excuse me. this is how upset I am. Um, actually, what's really funny is that you and I both have matching answers to our next category, which actually kind of cracked me up. But it also speaks, I think, to the books and these characters. And it is our favorite antagonist. These are the villains we loved to hate, or the villains we were maybe cheering for a little bit at the end. Carrie, who was our runner-up?
Oh, it was the Oblivion Knight from the Remnant Blade. I was like, you know what?
Good God.
If this is how it ends with her murdering everybody, I am here for it because this is the coolest scene I'm listening to in my car.
Oh God, that scene that was almost one of my favorite scenes because I love an Oblivion Night as is. I love the Sisters of Silence and just oh. But while she's technically a protagonist, she is the antagonist to
She's the
our.
antagonist in this book. Yes.
She is the antagonist of this book, and man, mm, the scene was great. It was absolutely amazing. She was powerful. She was strong without being ridiculous. Like she was absolutely believable as what she was,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and I do like the Night Lord's reaction to her.
I liked, honestly, the word bearer's reaction to her. Like, oh, we suddenly have no power now. She's like, yes, welcome.
She could have looked at them and asked, "Where are your gods now?"
Now she would have signed it really, really fast.
She would have said it really, really fast, and they would have been like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, slow down. We don't really remember how to speak that language." No, she was perfectly utilized. Perfectly. Absolutely loved her.
That was it honestly was one of my favorite scenes as well. But I had to pick and choose, pick and choose.
It was almost my runner-up favorite scene, but man, yeah. Anything. I mean, I think everybody probably knew that was going to be it because there was a tallyman in my thing with the death guard. So
Right.
But the Oblivion Knight was excellent. And then, who was our favorite antagonist, Carrie?
It was General Hurt from Final Deployment. And honestly, it was because like he's a typical idiot who wants to, save his planet from the brutal yoke of the Imperium. And then I'm going to do a quote from a really old movie. And he fucked up. He trusted the Iron Warriors.
Oh my God. Like, and guys, I love the Iron Warriors. They're like one of my favorite legions.
And he's
What
just like,
part
well,
of them
when they're done
looked
here, they'll just
trustworthy?
they'll just leave and we got the planet. Oh,
Oh, pumpkin.
pumpkin. So
Oh,
sorry you
pumpkin.
think that way. Oh,
Like the
you
whole time
dumb
I was reading,
bastard.
you dumb bastard. Yeah, the whole time I was reading that book, again, as a huge Iron Warriors fangirl, reading that book, and I'm like, why? What about their demeanor makes you think that these are people who are gonna be like, yeah, we're
I mean,
totally gonna
their
leave,
colors are literally hazard tape stripes.
right? They are hazard tape, and they are cold in the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, God, he was a sympathetic villain
Yeah.
because again, he did the math. He did the math that so many people have done, right? And we talk about this so much with the Imperium being its own worst enemy.
Yep.
Yeah, he did the math and thought, yeah, something has to be better than this. And
Yeah.
Yeah, not so sure. And I did like his gradual, oh no, 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 I'm just like really altruistic, trying to do his best for my planet. To then, everyone knows who Abaddon is. Like, oh, wow, maybe we came a little full circle here, didn't we? He was enjoying his villain era, as the
Oh,
kids say.
I don't know. He was delusional. Poor
Oh,
guy.
poor guy. He was a good villain because you understood him. Like he actually had a good motivation. Again, really good villains are the heroes of their story,
Hmm.
right? And that guy
And he was the
100%
hero of
thought he
his
was.
story. Yep.
Oh my God, yes. Absolutely. Like he's the guy who cast off the shackles of the Imperium for these super swell guys, the Iron Warriors.
Well, they were just helping him.
They were just a means to an end, don't you understand?
And I mean, he just needed to help them, and then they were going to leave.
Right?
And they weren't going to leave anybody behind to, keep this as a territory, because that's totally not what they said they were going to do.
Right. No, and they're definitely not going to convert all of us to slave labor to toil endlessly for
Mm-hmm.
their endless war machine, just like we were under the Imperium. Like, and the funny thing about that, the really funny thing about that book was that with the Iron Warriors, low key, things probably weren't going to change all that much.
No,
Like,
it just would have
you were
been
just
like a
going to go right back to what you were doing.
I mean, just a different master.
Right. I mean, maybe instead of working like 60-hour shifts, you then would have been working like 70 or 80, like, because now you're just batteries that we're going to really go through instead
Right.
of like, oh, we kind of need to reserve our batteries. Nah, he's like, go through them.
Like, yeah, I mean, we're just going to use you till you drop. Oh, well, there's more of you.
Yeah.
And
Oops.
what was that line? It's a world of untold billions.
Yeah. Yeah. Untold billions.
Yeah, so that actually makes me think of this quote from Demon Hammer. The galaxy was filled with tyrants and despots on the one hand, while on the other was only madness and ruin. It's your vomit milkshake and your shit sandwich.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Death by firing squad or death by hanging.
Or
It is an uncaring universe.
or was it a death or exile?
That's right. Death by
By
exile.
Yep.
Great, great line. Absolutely wonderful line.
Ugh.
Yes. Yes. And he was a really great villain for that book. That was exactly what that book needed. And yeah, you messed up. You trusted the wrong people. Like, in the 40k universe, beware of anyone selling salvation. Good God. Like, oh, do you not love the Imperium? Oh my God, it's so much better with us.
I mean, what was it? Was it Shadow Sword? Where it's like we have salvation, and then the guy wakes up and he sees that his cousin wife is now like a gate with like her limbs dangling
Yeah.
from the gates. Like, oh, it's salvation. This is what you wanted, right?
Yeah. Like, I thought this was salvation. It is, but not how you mean.
I mean, it's for us.
Right, exactly. From a certain point of view.
Uh,
Oh my God. All right.
that is, I admit, the fun of chaos, though, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. All right, let's go to the other side of this coin, which is our favorite protagonist. These were the main characters whose stories we were completely and utterly invested in. And we're here for it. Who was your runner-up, Carrie?
My runner-up, I believe, was your favorite, and it is Colonel Graven of the Relentless Dead. Had to make sure I said that correctly and didn't say the Restless Dead.
Dude, the number of times that I have like typed out the Restless Dead instead of Relentless. Oh my God.
And I'm looking at how I spelled relentless, and you know what? Just forget it.
I believe that's the French way.
The French way.
Just go put an A and a U in there and it'll be French. Maybe a superfluous X.
Well, that would make it Cajun. But anyway. Oh, God. I mean.
Relentless.
So Colonel Graven. I don't know what to say. I feel like we have a Krieg almost every year because Steve Lyons writes such amazing Krieg characters. And now you're looking through our other.
I am actually. Oh my God. Yes. Last year it was Tyborg from Siege of Vrax. We did not have one in 2023. Favorite protagonist? No, we didn't. Oh, wait. No. Was that a. No, that wasn't a Krieg. No, but we have for the last 2 years, for sure. For sure.
I mean, he's like everything you'd want, like in a
Oh,
real
wait
leader.
a minute. Actually,
What?
actually, so I forgot that in 2022 we read Krieg. So my favorite antagonist was Colonel Yurden.
Ah,
So yes,
you had him
Steve
as an
Lyons is
antagonist?
Krieg.
That's interesting.
Well, because what he does to his planet.
Well,
Um,
you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. So,
oh my God, every single egg to prove a point. Uh,
point has been proven.
but yes, Steve Lyons definitely dominates with his Krieg characters for us.
I mean, but everything about Graven was just perfect. I don't even know what else to say from him. Like even going into the catacombs, when he decides that he's not going to listen to the Vestroyans or the sisters, like no, you guys are blinded by your pride, and the Krieg have no pride.
No, none. They have kind of the opposite of it.
And if he hadn't done, and even when the canonist killed him, and then he becomes a saint, and comes back and gets to, save the day, even then he's just like, but I was right. Like I know what I'm
Yes.
doing.
Well, and I like the line. I like how he's kind of filled with doubt because he cares. He cares about his people, which is not very Krieg-like. And again, it's like this.
Well,
The longer
his
that
whole
the
thing,
Krieg.
it's not as much as he cares about the people. It's more like if we're going to sacrifice ourselves, which is what we're here for, we're going to make it have meaning. Like it's not going to be because of your pride.
Right.
It's going to be because we are actually fighting the enemy.
Yeah, that's a good way to word that. That's a really good way to word that. And yes, he starts doing that kind of human math, right? The very non-Krieg way of looking at this. And he's filled with doubt until he's not. Until he's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great character who definitely cares about his men, and he is going to be a fantastic leader. And I like that Steve Lyons keeps exploring this concept of maybe the longer that they live and the higher, like the more experience they get, that they are capable of being really solid commanders and really solid people who aren't just, throwing their lives away because they've got to repent.
It's because they get a name.
They
get a name.
They start getting fancy ideas because we give them a name.
Yep. Makes it real.
It does kind of, doesn't it? That's fair. That's a way to think. Ooh, there's like a real article in there. My honorable mention was from Final Deployment, and this is kind of a cheater answer, but it was both Traxel and Norrell. I loved all of the Tempesta Science group, but I really liked Traxel, and I was really invested in him. And there were parts of the story I didn't love, but I loved Traxel, and I loved how that character was written, and I liked how their group was, how they interacted with one another. Not the Medicaid, not Davalind, but everybody else.
She wasn't really Tempestus, so screw her. So
no, yeah, exactly. So she doesn't even count. Hope she dies. Anyways, for real though. But I really liked all of those characters. I liked their interactions. Just great. I would love to read more about those particular characters.
Agreed. And I hope R.S. Wilt has maybe a sequel, that he's working on. That'd be cool.
I would like that. I would like that very much because he set it up very nicely at the end for that. So, who was your favorite protagonist of the year?
So this one I wrote at the very beginning of the year. It was the first book we read of the year, and it was Inquisitor Kotias of Demon Hammer. He just, to me, was the perfect Inquisitor. He And also because when he finally gets the soul glass he's been looking for, he destroys it. And I don't think very many Inquisitors would have done that. They would have taken it back to study it, or they would have used it for themselves. And he's just like, nope, no one gets this.
That is true, actually.
And we never.
This pick kind of surprised me.
Yeah, yes, his interrogators were, one betrayed him and one was like going to betray him. He's just like, this is why I have no use for any of you guys. Because then you never try to understand like what I am doing, where I'm coming from. And a lot of it was because he didn't trust anybody, but that's kind of the Inquisitor way. But I mean, I wrote this down at the very first book of the year. I made sure to write down protagonist of the year, and I really couldn't think of anybody else I liked more than him. And I have to say, my God, again, the narrator might have influenced us a little bit because I loved the way he narrated Cotiaz. And of course, how he kept saying it, Inquisitor Cotiaz.
I do remember liking the character. I didn't like that book as much as you did, but I do remember being surprised by how much I enjoyed that character. I do like a good Inquisitor character.
We just haven't had that many. Like, really
no,
good
we have not.
Inquisitors.
We really haven't. Obviously, I loved Erasmus Krall from the Vaults of Terra series.
Yes, he was great.
Beyond that, I can't really think of a really great Inquisitor character we've had in a while.
I mean, no, I was going to say Eisenhorn, but he's... The problem with the Inquisitors is that they they betray somehow or another. So, like, Eisenhorn, yeah, he says he's loyal to the Imperium, but man, it's really hard to say that when you got a pet demon. And
you got a pet demon and you used a chaos machine that you didn't really understand how it worked because you were going to totally do the right thing with it. Don't worry about it, guys.
Right. And then I can't say Ravener is because I think Ravener is stupid. Just because he let these totally shady people on his ship and was so shocked when they turned against him. I'm sorry. I know people love the Ravener series, but I could not stop that. And then... Again, he's got the greatest mind ever, and he doesn't know that his interrogator is possessed by a demon. Dude.
Yeah, Robert Jordan called. He wanted his characters back.
You know, let's see, and most other Inquisitors we've read about, they become, betrayer somehow. Or they just get so involved.
Power drunk.
Yeah, they get so involved in their work. They, like you said, they become power drunk.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the thing, right? Is that since we're just quoting The Dark Knight all over the place tonight, it is you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. And that's basically every single Inquisitor.
Right.
Every single Inquisitor, right? Erasmus Krall died the hero.
Yes.
Spoilers for the Vaults of Terra series.
Eisenhorn is the villain.
Absolutely is. Ravener is just
whatever. He's a guy in a box.
Blind.
Like,
he sucks.
I can't. I can't.
I know.
It was honestly amazing. I read after the first Ravener book, and you even warned me with the third book about what was going to happen with the blunter. And I was like, whatever, that's not going to happen. Oh my God. Sorry. I mean, I know I'm going to piss off Abnet people who just, they're like, oh, but the blunters are not very, they haven't really explained it and they keep changing it. You know what? I don't care. I don't care. They either have souls or they don't. So
that's... Again, that one pisses me off so much because you can see where it came from. It's definitely from the X-Men with the limiter cuffs. Like, I see what you've done here. Stop it. Either they have a soul or they don't. It's either a magic power or they just don't have a soul. You can't soul on, soul off. Soul glow. You can't...
Anyway,
yeah,
so
I get very frustrated.
Yeah, Cotiaz is probably one of the better Inquisitors we've come across in a very, very long time.
I would absolutely agree with that statement.
Darius Hinks, if you do listen, I don't know if you used to, I don't know if you still do. If you're listening, I would like a sequel. I need more.
I would not say no to
of
a sequel.
of what Kotias is working on.
Caiaphas Cain heard us talking about Inquisitors, and he's come to join.
Okay, yeah. So Amberly Vale's a pretty cool Inquisitor. All right.
Oh yeah, yeah. He definitely wants to make sure that Amberly's getting her props, and doesn't just want to be scritched and loved on because yeah. Anyways, yeah. No, I forgot that he was a good Inquisitor and a good inquisitorial character, and we probably do need more of that now.
As your cat has now like kicked up your
Oh my God. Yes.
your wires
Just-
everywhere.
God, everywhere.
All right. So
But all right.
let's go. Let's jump around.
Okay. Let's get
Yeah.
spicy with it.
Let's go to best book pre 2025.
Okay, let's do that. Because we did
read
have to go
a
into the
lot.
we read so much in the Wayback
Ugh.
Machine. And really quickly, we need to give a big shout out to all of our fans and our friends in the Discord and on YouTube and wherever else you listen to us who gave us suggestions for Wayback Machine. We really do listen. When we're running out of new books, we really do listen and value you guys' input. It was why we read 15 Hours. It's why we read Baneblade and Shadow Sword and Firecast eventually. It took us a while. We eventually got there. Blades of Damocles. This is why we read these, is because you guys suggested them. So huge thanks to everybody who suggested these books. And yeah, these are our best books that were printed before. They deserve to have a mention, but they're not necessarily the best books of 2025. With that, Carrie, what was your runner-up?
15 Hours.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think I read that book in 2 days.
Oh my gosh. I think you did actually. Because I remember us like starting it and you just being like, oh my God, this was an amazing book. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I could not put this one down. I loved everything about it, as I've already said, like ad nauseum. But earlier, yeah, this one. Honestly, if anyone came to me now, and you read your how to get started in 40K, I would actually say the Imperial. If you want to see how humans are in the military, this is the book that you need to read before you can understand and read others and understand like how these other regiments work.
I've actually considered doing an updated version of that one. And yeah, 15 Hours. I forgot what a great primer it is because it's a great look into how brutal life is in the Imperium in general, but how brutal it is for the Imperial Guard, but also how vital they are and how it really is just this is what the human military is like in the 40K universe. I would absolutely agree with that.
Okay, so
My runner-up was Baneblade by Guy Haley.
so
I just liked the hell out of it.
Baneblade and Shadow Sword were they were a distinct third place.
Right. I really, really liked them. They were just good books. I discovered through we have the sequel, Demolisher. What was the first one?
Steel Tread.
Steel Tread. I really like the what's the word I'm looking for?
The tanks.
The tanks, but what's the actual the motor pool people? I really like the tanks. I like the heavy artillery. This is an interesting facet of the 40K universe and Baneblades in general. The Gaunt's Ghost series had a lot of Baneblades that popped up and they were always really fun. Saint Sabbat put the gun off of one with one swipe of her sword because she's got the Emperor running through her. Really liked it. It's just a solid book. Great story start to finish. It was classic Guy Haley.
Yes.
We both have the same best book for pre-2025, and I think this is going to surprise no one, but it is, of course.
And it does hurt me a little inside, but it's because I still don't like the author.
It is Firecast by Peter Fehérváry, and yeah, neither of us are like super. We're both like, we went into that book like, and then we both ended up liking it.
Let's read this so we'll shut everybody up because they've been hassling us to read Firecast for I don't know how long.
It's Peter Fahavari and it's the Tau.
Yeah, and then we're like, it's the start of
Oh no, it's
it's
so
the start
good.
of the dark coil, and we don't like the whole thing with the dark coil. And
Right.
I was like, oh god, I don't want to do this. And then it ended up being like one of the best books we've ever read. So,
It was so good. I
so
want
I
everyone to
guess
know
I
that
could say Peter Fahavari peaked early.
I will let everyone know that I harangued, that is the word for it. I harangued my husband to read this book. I loved it so much. I was like, you have to read this book. And he's like, oh, yeah, yeah, no, totally, I will. And he will eventually. But I was like, no, 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 but like now. But like now. Like now, though, because I need to be able to talk about this with somebody else. And yeah, it was great book, great characters. The dark coil was used so well in that. The
Mm-hmm.
idea it was a good version of a time loop. The idea like he touched on so many wonderful ideas about like how the Tau and the humans, they're just fighting this war because neither one wants to win. They just don't want the other side to win. This is just kicking up sand for the sake of it at both of them. And it's both sides doing it.
Right.
And it also touches on my favorite concept with the Tau, which is what happens when mommy and daddy aren't around, when the ethereals aren't around. Individuality starts coming out. You've got Firecast who are like, yeah, no, I don't like any of these people. This is all awful. You got the Watercast going, ooh, actually, I'm getting some highfalutin ideas over here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then of course, you still have their chaos isn't a thing. God.
Right. There's no such thing as hell.
You
Honestly,
sure about that?
that whole thing reminded me like when I can't remember the name of the Iverson. No, that's the commissar. You know,
Right. Um,
hold up.
no, I can't think of his name right now, but yes.
Ah, okay, here we go. Yeah, so I was right. So it's Colonel Cutler. When he's like hauling that Tau, and he's like, oh, there's no such thing as hell. All I could think of was like,
Oh, I love
the
him.
first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where it's just like, hope you start believing in ghost stories because you're in one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's just a great book, start to finish. I loved all the characters. I loved the setting.
The planet
I
where you're
would love
not really sure
more of
exactly what
that.
is going on.
Yeah, what the hell is going on here? Oh, it's great. It was great from start to finish. So, yes, everybody who recommended that book was right.
I still think it's a terrible title. He should have gone
Well,
with
even
his title.
they should have absolutely gone with his title. It would have been a much better title because Firecast speaks to the Tau, which the Firecast guys, they're there
They're
and they're
there.
definitely
Yeah.
mucking about, but it's really the Watercast guy who's the more integral part of the story. Watercast definitely sounds worse than Firecast. Oh, it just yeah, they always made it sound like it was going to be just like a heavy hardcore Tau book and
That's what
not
I thought.
really. Oh,
No,
it also
the
had that's also the book where they discuss like, but what if you don't want to be a water cast? And like, that's not a thing. So much for
yes,
your
yeah, the Watercast chick who was like hiding the fact that she liked to sculpt things. Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They're super rigid society there, huh?
Yep.
Um,
That's why
yeah.
she never would get married.
hmm
She had to live like totally alone. Anyway, so that was
Let's talk about our
that's our
best
best
books of
books that were written
2025.
before this last year. So
The thing that everyone has now awaited for us, the best books of 25. Carrie, what was your honorable mention?
it was Final Deployment by R.S. Wilt. That's a great book from start to finish. Really don't go. I mean, we've said everything we need to say about it. At least I've talked about it in great detail.
Yeah, oh God, I almost picked that one. Almost picked that one. This is going to be a somewhat hot take, and I actually went back and listened to our podcast, and my complaints about this book are still very valid. He needed to focus fire. He was trying to Spider-Man 3 this thing, but it was Interceptor City by Dan Abnett. I had waited so long. How old is my daughter? 18. I waited 18 years for because I read the first book when I was pregnant with her. I waited 18 years for this sequel, and yes, I enjoyed it. I loved Bree Jagdea. It definitely suffered from some Abnett-isms and some problems, but I did it. I enjoyed it. And the thing about it, I keep coming back to scenes from it and thinking about parts of it. Now, sometimes it's because I'm angry. Um, I do think a lot about that book. So
Man, nah, close
that's
that
fine.
thing. It's gone.
And we actually both have the same best book for 2025.
Which
And
is going
it
to shock
is,
nobody, but
it's going to shock nobody.
it is The Relentless Dead by Steve Lyons. The Krieg
Yeah.
have done it again.
He's done it again with the Krieg. I loved the book from start to finish. I loved the characters in it. I loved everybody's arc. I liked
Mm-hmm.
that everybody was a deeply complex. That was an inquisitor who was deeply complex. I
True.
loved this, even though I wanted to just bang the sisters' heads together. I liked all of the sisters. I loved that there was a tallyman. It just, the whole thing moved so smoothly, and it was just a great commentary on the Krieg, on the commentary of faith. Yeah.
And I kind of like the whole like Walking Dead, double
Yes.
entendre that even the show kind of had.
Yes, exactly that. And part of me was like, oh God, is it just because this is like one of the last books that we've read that it's just fresher in my mind? And so that's why I went back. I spent like all weekend going through rewatching all of our episodes where I was like, okay, let's listen to this one and let's listen to this one and
God
let's
dang,
listen to this
you
one.
are far more dedicated than I am. I just looked through my notes.
Well, I looked through my notes as well, and that's the reason I went and did that is because I looked at all of my books, and I looked at everything, and I was like, well, God, like, oh, I really put a lot of stuff into The Relentless Dead, and I think maybe it was just because it was more recent, and no, no, I no, it wasn't, and it was a great book.
Mm-hmm. I
I'm just a big
probably
fangirl.
like a third would have been Blade. I almost said Blades of Damocles. That would have been wrong. The Remnant Blade. It's probably third place.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. That was a really good one too. I really liked. I also Final Deployment. I really liked. There was just we did read. We read a few really great books this year. Um, talk more about that later. I have thoughts, of course. I always do. But let's talk about most anticipated. What books that maybe haven't published yet or have published? What are we most excited about to read in 2026?
Okay,
Let's start with you.
I checked this as books that have not published yet.
That's
so
also fair.
so
What are your books you got, Carrie? There's
well,
not a lot out there that they've told us about.
there's only two that I know of, so they both went up there. But I'm actually looking forward to both of them. And one is Apostle, which
By
is
David Annandale. Hell yeah.
it's word bearers. It's just like gross. But David Annandale. All right, I'm in. I'm in. I'm curious to see what monster and body horror he does with these guys because there's plenty to do.
Oh yeah.
And then Death Rider,
I
because
think
it's
we're both
another Krieg
excited for
book,
that.
and it's not Steve Lyons, but still, I'm looking forward to it.
I am as well. And it deals with the cavalry of the
Mm-hmm.
Krieg. So hell yeah.
Horses
Hell
and
yeah,
gas
I'm down for
masks,
this.
man.
Horses with gas masks and their weird clawed hooves that they have. Um, I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it. The one that I put in there, it has already published, but it's the one that I'm most excited to read in 2026. It's oh God, sorry, it's Vagabond Squadron. I'm really excited for Vagabond Squadron.
That one,
I mean, we just talked about Interceptor City, so of
I think that one's
course.
going to be good. However, I think the one I'm most looking forward to of the books that have already published would be Demolisher, just because I like Steel Tribes
That
so much.
Archmagos. I'm so excited for Archmagos. I'm really excited for that one. I'm actually really excited to hit the ground running. Not necessarily for Tomb World,
No, but it's because we're not
but
Necron
anyways,
fans, but
yeah. But hey, it might surprise us. So, but yeah,
right.
there's just so many books we're reading next year that I'm excited. Oh my God, you can tell I need more caffeine tonight. Now, as always, we have added a category where we're just like, you know what, we want to give a shout out to a book that we really didn't discuss very much. Um, Well, what's your books, Carrie? What are the books that we didn't really discuss here tonight? But you definitely want to give a shout out.
I mean, we kind of did a little bit, but like I didn't mention in any of my awards Baneblade or Shadow Sword. And I want to mention them because they were such great books, and they were books other books I was like not really keen on reading, but that was highly recommended by our Discord people. So again, there's the plug to please join our Discord. We do listen. The only one we've been balking at is the Tau books. So, but we're very upfront about that. But I loved both of those. And the only thing disappoints me about Baneblade and Shadow Sword is that I'm not going to get another Bannock story. And that makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually going to go a little out of order here and skip to my main one. And it was Demon Hammer. Really, as we were sitting, as I was looking at, because we fill out this form so that I know what to like queue up and stuff for people. And I was looking at some of the stuff that Carrie had in there, and I was like, oh man, that actually was a good book. I really did enjoy that. And that was another one that I had gone back and listened to the episode. And I was like, I did like this book. Mm-hmm. It just didn't quite rise above other things for me.
Right.
And so, yeah. And I went out of order to say that was my main one, because my honorable mention, there's a lot this year that I feel like we read a lot of books that were good. They weren't great. They weren't terrible. They were
Nocturne.
Good. Yeah, well, there were a few that were bad and I did not enjoy. But there were just a lot that I was like,
glad we read it.
Not terrible. Glad we read it. Like, worse ways to spend my time. But I felt really bad. Like, there were so many books, and I know you and I were talking about this, like when we would go back and we would look at our notes, and I was like, man, I didn't take a lot of notes about this one at all. But like, a good example of this would be the High Call's Oath. Like,
oh, yeah. No, but it was, I mean, I do like Gav Thorpe. However, it's very obvious he gets books like this, because we saw this also with Indominus, that he's assigned, the Chartreuse, that he is assigned to get people excited about figures and rules that are coming out. And if you look at that assignment, he nails the assignment. It's just not very interesting to read.
I would agree with that 100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that was a really good example of like, okay, I guess. A Broken Crusade. I had a quote from it, but God, man, my notes on that book, it was so meh. Like that book, The Silent King, the last of the Dawn of Fire books.
So one thing I can say, there's a few things about Silent King that I can say. I thought that Guy Haley did a really good job of wrapping up the mess that everyone made.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like that he explained exactly why Kato Sicarius, is no longer captain of the second company. He went through that exact whole thing, exactly how all that happened. There were some other notes in here that I had taken about that. Because I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that one wasn't terrible. I'll tell you how I felt about it. It was like, oh, it wasn't terrible.
Right.
It wasn't great. Wasn't... wow, that was like it. Yeah, so there we go. And I guess he had to kill off Fleet Tertius. So, sure.
Do you know which one crushed me that my notes are really scant and I had to go back and listen to the podcast just to be like, oh man, was I just a dick and forgot to write stuff down? Void Exile.
So I didn't take many notes on that one either, but
it was just kind of, both of us were kind of,
but I don't remember really liking it.
Yeah, we were both very lukewarm on it. That one,
which is a shame because we were so looking forward to it.
I know, like there was that one.
So my biggest complaint about that one was that Baal Shar was in exile, and we never knew why. Like we were like, I was basically rereading the second book, being like, did this happen in there? Looking through Reddit and all these things just to be like, no, didn't happen. It
kind of happened off screen,
which is like, okay,
that one,
no.
Kraken Blood. I was very like, I went back on it.
no notes on, and I think it's
I didn't
I didn't
really
like
didn't
it.
have a lot on it either. It was kind of crazy. I yeah, there was a lot of we didn't really talk about it tonight because I didn't really have a lot to say about it. So that's why I sort of cheated out of that one. And but it just I was going through and because it really struck me as we were doing this. I was looking through books and I was like, man, there's a lot of mid.
Yep, there was a lot of mid. So I guess like my top book that I didn't discuss at all was Grotznick de Mad Dog. And it's just because like there was nothing in it that was like so insightful or big oh my god scenes or whatever. Because I have a hard time with that with some orc books because I just find them more comical than anything else. But again, what made this one stand out so much was it was really well written, really well done. And I can't. Last thing I'm going to say about the narrator was amazing, and he's pretty much what made this book for me.
That's her. And that's a wrap on 2025, you guys. It was, I mean, we have so many books again that we have to read that we have so many books that are coming up. Like I think about it and I'm like, the list is huge. Tomb World, Archimagos, Vagabond Squadron, Demolisher.
Yeah, it's like what we said last time. Like most of them are behind me right now because I have Void Scarred downstairs.
Void Scarred.
Like we have through March set. So
yeah. So our next 3 months are going to be exciting. I really am, especially after seeing the book club award or the books of the year awards that came out on the Warhammer community site.
To be fair, that was like basically all the books that released this year.
Well, I mean, yeah, kind of. There were a few that were missing off of there, like of a few that were surprisingly missing off of there. But yeah, it's been a pretty wild year for books. It'll be good for us though. We're gonna hit the ground running into 2026, and we'll see what 2026 brings us from the Black Library in addition.
Yep. So thank you guys for sticking with us through 2025. Look forward to doing this all again in 2026. And so Happy New Year, everybody. What are you doing?
My cat is licking my hoodie, and it's awful.
The people
I don't
that are
know why
listening to this on audio are going to be like, "What is going on?" This is why you should watch us on YouTube, Spotify, or Rumble, and not just listen.
He's adorable, but he's got that sandpaper tongue, and it's on my hoodie, and it just like nails on a blackboard. The sound. Anyways,
you done?
I fucking love cats. No, yes. Happy New Year to everyone.
All right, good night, everybody.